Apparently in the United States, belief in God is on the decline, but belief in ghosts is actually increasing. I love that. I love that there are people out there who are like, what are you, praying, you stupid hick? Anyway, a bunch of the spoons in my apartment weren't exactly where I left them, and I think it may have been Alan Rickman. I don't know. I feel like nobody believes in God. Like, has anybody even asked you if you believe in God lately? Like, isn't that such a Bush-era question? Do I believe in God? Do you like Akon? Like, what are you talking about? My mom believes in God. And like classic God, you know, where the heaven has harps and there's hell with fire and brimstone and stuff. And apparently, brimstone is actually sulfur. Yeah. I guess just to make hell like a little bit worse. You know, where it's like you burn for all eternity and also it's stinky like eggs. You have to swim through a lake of fire and the latch on the bathroom door is pretty tough. You keep walking in on Hitler peeing, and you're like, oh, sorry. And then you're like, oh, did I just apologize to Hitler? That feels weird. With Hitler, do you guys feel like Hitler kind of ruined the time machine game? You know, like, what would you do if you could? Because now that's the only acceptable answer, but I have a real answer, and I feel like I can't say it because of Hitler. But one time, I dropped and shattered a full bottle of olive oil. A full bottle? Put yourself in that situation. What do? Do you wipe up the oil? There's glass. Do you sweep up the glass? It's covered in oil. I don't care about genocide right now. Seriously, like, what? I called my parents. I was like, should I move? I ended up just taking a bunch of paper towels and kind of covering the whole thing like it was Chernobyl. I was like, I guess just no one go in there for 1,000 years. Or, you know, at least the Holocaust ended. Ooh, that it ended? No, it ended. That's good. That should be the biggest cheer of the night. Oh, it's over. We did it. I was expecting USA chants at that. No, ghosts. I've been asking people. What I have found about ghosts is when I ask my male friends if they believe in ghosts, they tell me no. But when I ask my female friends if they believe in ghosts, they tell me a story. I saw this from when they were like 15, too. I thought ghosts came back because they wanted revenge on people. Turns out they're just creeps hanging around high schools. You know, they're like, I get centuries older, but they stay the same age. I don't believe in ghosts unless I have just watched a scary movie with ghosts in it. Then that night I'm pretty confident that there are ghosts. You know? Because whenever you watch a scary movie, whatever was in that movie, that thing is in your bedroom closet that night, right? Even if it doesn't make sense. One time I watched The Happening and I was like, close the closet door, there's trees in there. You better close the door fast or those trees are gonna make me kill myself. The worst is, I'll get scared of a shitty movie. That's embarrassing. You know, when a horror movie keeps you up for days and then you realize it got a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. And you're like, oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, that's pretty interesting. For me, that happened with this movie, Dead Silence. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. So it's the dumbest. So this movie opens with a couple who receives a ventriloquist dummy in the mail from an anonymous sender. Yeah, so you think the movie would just end right there, right? I mean, best case scenario, that's from Al-Qaeda. Like, obviously it's the devil. But they're into it, you know? They're like, well, let's bring it inside. Give it some scissors. Like, I don't know. And it's possessed, of course, it's haunted. But, like, you start to feel bad for the ghost. Because this ghost has so many rules she has to follow. Like, first of all, she can only haunt ventriloquist dummies because in life, she was a ventriloquist. Which is like, that sucks. Wouldn't that make you pick your job so carefully? Like, I used to ref children's soccer. How would I haunt children's soccer? Like, I think what I would do if I had to haunt children's soccer is I would make it so when the kids kicked the ball, it just went like way, way too far. Like into the next field, you know, where the coach is like, Sarah, this is a team sport. What are you doing? And she's like, ah. Or my other idea is that I would murder all the children. Oh, and then the other rule this ghost has to follow, which this one was worse. She's only allowed to kill people if she can scare them, and then they like audibly scream. You know, that's why it's called dead silence. So the whole conflict of the movie, at least from the ghost perspective, is that she just can't get the main guy to scream. Like, she is scaring the fuck out of him, but that's just not how he gets scared. She's like, ah, and he's like, wow. Like 10 times. She's like, oh, and he's like, that was very intense. But he never screams, so she can't get him. Until she finally gets him on this line. Sorry for the spoilers. She goes, who's the dummy now? And he goes, oh, and then she kills him. But I don't even think she scared him. I think he just got the pun. He was like, oh, you're the dumb. Okay, then. And she's like, that counts, and then she stabs him. It may have been the dumbest ending to a movie I've ever seen, and I was so fucking scared. I was so scared that night, I had to masturbate. You guys ever done that? You know, masturbate so you think about other stuff? That's the move. You're sitting in bed and all the stuff you're scared of gets closer and closer, and you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, ha ha ha! And it's like, oh no, my weakness. Boobs and things. And I'm standing outside the closet door like, yeah, you stay in there, you dummy. My girlfriend's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm protecting us. It's the only way.